This season, Big Brother is granting you powers like never before. Big Brother Canada, our season of secrets starts right now.
Big Brother Canada 1 was a huge success for Slice, so naturally they ordered a new season immediately. They brought back the same host and the same format and the same number of house goods and the same casting agency, but now they made everything more exciting with bigger twists and bigger choices and more fun interaction and made everything louder. You can tell the difference immediately. I mean, the people last season were quieter, more reserved, more interesting to ponder about. But this cast is a party. I couldn't imagine the season 1 cast going for drinks together, but the season 2 cast would destroy a bar and run away into the night. And I know that because there were many parties in that house and they were wild. This is a cast that people love to see play Big Brother. They're noisy, they're confrontational, they're messy, dramatic, lively. For all accounts, they did a great job finding this new batch of entertaining players. The season itself is also much louder and messier and thrillinger. This edition would actually add many more twists that had to do with some sort of fun interaction. Like, the audience could do a bunch of things here, from deciding a secret house to be added into the game, to giving powers to the players, to bringing new twists into the house by reaching a certain number of interactions, to having a week where Canada was able to decide who to nominate for eviction, which we'll get to. And these powers usually led to a bunch of fights and confrontations and calling outs and big moves. Hell, I think there are even more iconic moments here than in season 1. And there's a huge power shift in the middle that stops an ugly alliance from steamrolling, and all players seem hungry for the win, and this season sounds like it was a blast to watch. Get ready for the but I do have a big problem with it, and sadly it's not a problem that I'm able to shake up easily, because it basically dictated how the whole game played out, and that is a twist in week 5. Yeah, this was Canada's HOH. This was the week where Canada was able to nominate the people that they liked the least, and that screwed with the whole flow of the game. Canada not only ended up directly sinking the main alliance of the first 5, but also messing with the mental state of many of its members who thought that they were being despised by their country. And then after that, you see many players thanking Canada for actually making the first big move of the season. Thank you, Canada.
Canada, you made the complete right decision in this game. You guys know what's happening, and you guys aren't afraid to get dirty, and I love it.
And that didn't sit well with me. Like, you should have been doing the big move. So when there's a new alliance that takes over and dominates, I don't feel like they really earned it. I feel like Canada just gifted that to them. And who knows how the game would have played out if Canada never took over. But whatever, this is Big Brother and expect the unexpected, I guess. But that's not the only problem I have. I also thought that this season was pretty predictable. I mean, in the first half, one alliance dominates uninterrupted, and then Canada screws them over, so then another alliance dominates uninterrupted. Okay, there are some creative plans in between, and there's a player that has a lot of fun being devilish and playing both sides, but he gets pretty swiftly caught and removed, so I don't feel like there was much of a match after that. Like, it was pretty obvious who was going to come out on top halfway through the season. But now let's talk about these players, because a lot of them just get under my skin. Whether because they had a personality that I found irksome, or because their gameplay decisions were just so frustrating, these players were fine in small doses, but when they felt on top, oh my god, they were too much. I do give some of them credit that they had some interesting strategies that they tried to implement, but the way they went about it was horrible. There's this guy, for example, who had this strategy of becoming the most hated person in the house, so the other players could actually protect him as some sort of goat to drag along, which is an intriguing idea in concept, but how does he achieve this goal? Well, by publicly calling out the house leader as some sort of racist and sexist man on national television, which, if you're not aware, that does not fly. Listen, even if I hated the person he was calling out and he was actually kind of a jerk, those are huge words to be attaching to someone. That just isn't right. And there were just too many points where people behave like assholes this year, especially in the beginning where the first 5 were in control. The way Heather was treated in the beginning by the Alliance, and everyone calling Aika a bitch when she shredded the letters. Sabrina looking down on almost every other girl. There's actually someone who I was rooting for, and then suddenly they win the HOH and they just become a huge asshole out of nowhere. But being fair to him, it was actually in the name of strategy, and it did give us the best moment of the season.
Does everybody want good TV? Is that what they want?
But okay, if we're talking about assholes, there's a giant one here. Not that kind. Andrew Gordon has to be one of my least favorite Big Brother Canada players ever. Just the way he behaved in the house and how he talked to people he wasn't aligned with was infuriating. I know it's inevitable for people to behave like jerks in this house sometimes, but Andrew never relented. His reign of terror made the first half of this season feel like a chore with no end in sight. And he does have some moments when you think, okay, maybe it's just the editing, maybe they're just showing the worst of him, maybe he's actually not that bad. But then he leaves a goodbye message to another girl saying shit like,
"Yeah, I'm just happy we're able to vote and get you out of this house. I'm really sorry for your friends and family that can't cast a vote to get you out of their lives."
And I'm like, who the f says that to a person? He was a big part on why I wasn't enjoying the season in the first half. Plus, there's also this infamously dumb move that could have been a huge game shaker, but the players in power stupidly decide to play it safe and it robbed the endgame of the spice it needed to be enthralling and entertaining all the way through. And that leads me to talk about the winner, who I found just fine. There's a type of player that I always know it's the most likely to be the winner, and I become bored when they actually do end up winning in the end. I think it's a boring outcome for as messy a season as this was. And the player themselves is kind of bland and uninteresting in their own and kind of annoyed me in the diary room, but I guess it's inoffensive. There were just so many other fun characters this season that could make for great winners that this result ended up feeling very underwhelming. Okay, that's so many complaints. You'd think that I hated this season, but I just have a lot of nitpicks. As I said earlier, this season does have more notably iconic moments. Popping Paul, the shredding of the letters, the drunk mission, the wild parties and the fights. Oh god, all the fights. Sabrina's meltdowns, Wake Up Canada, Arlie in general. I had a lot of fun with him. And I would also say that the final 3 eviction is a shocking moment too, but honestly, I never thought of it as something I didn't expect. I could see this moment coming. Maybe if I had watched the live feeds I would have been more flabbergasted, but it didn't hit me that hard. And I could say the same about the big friendship, showmans, flirting kind of thing that had some run in this house. I definitely saw them more like a cute brother-sister type relationship kind of thing, but I really did love their chemistry. I just think I would have definitely been more into it had I watched the live feeds actually. And among all the assholery, there's also a couple of players that are actually very likable, and some truly heartwarming friendships that form here, some that have lasted all the way to today. Plus, this is also the debut season of Neda, who becomes a legend of the game, and it's fun to see her strategy in full display here, even if it took the help of Canada to see her rise. And finally, I think something that this season has over the first is that it is funnier. Again, messier players, funnier meltdowns. And it has Sabrina. Big Brother Canada 1 doesn't have Sabrina, Big Brother Canada 2 has Sabrina, it is funnier. Sabrina is like 90% of the comedy of Big Brother Canada 2. Like, okay, yes, she's annoying, sure, but it becomes hilarious just how much she breaks down over every little thing and blames it out on everyone else. I love Sabrina, and I love her character arc this season of being the initial unstoppable puppet master in the beginning, but then her empire crumbles so hard that she evolves into being a crybaby, making desperate shady deals to keep herself in the game and becoming kind of a joke. She really cracks me up, so that kept things very entertaining until the end. Looking back at it, I think I do prefer the more subtle and intricate and low-key feeling of the first season, but I totally get why so many people prefer the second iteration. It's louder, it's messier, it's more in your face, there are more fights, more drama, more parties. Big Brother Canada 2 is everything that people want out of Big Brother. To me, I just can't get over how Canada decided how the game played out and the predictable, underwhelming outcome. and a lot of these people get in on my nerves, but it is most definitely a pretty fun ride all the way through. Though, if I had problems with a twist this season, boy, I can't imagine what Big Brother Canada 3 is gonna do to me. I'll see you in the next video.